Hello out there, thanks for joining us. My name is Okiri Agbonsuremi with another edition of Public Conscience on Radio, produced by the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development, PRIMORG, and with the support from the MacArthur Foundation. You must by now be singing along with us. That is, that birth registration is free. And also working against extortion by anyone who dares register births for a fee. We have repeated this severally. If you pay for birth certificate, you're just being part of the corruption. Birth certificate, birth registration is free in Nigeria. But today we are shifting attention to another important very topic, and it is about the ordeal suffered by persons who are denied prepaid electricity meters, even when they have applied for them. Some even have paid. My co-presenter on the program today is, as usual, Chukwudi Okole Ugbaja. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hiria, and welcome to the program, everyone. An ordeal really it is, as you said, and one that those suffering it seem not to have anyone to run to for effective redress in the face of alleged corruption in the process of distributing the prepaid meters. Between DISCOs and the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, consumers seem to be running round in circles. Who or what will bring redemption to their situation?
And it is not just a meter matter as it is. It is not just a meter matter as it is. Some consumers who have applied for these electricity meters without getting them are groaning under the weight of the notorious estimated consumption, which some observers see as a further corruption, since you are forced to pay for power you cannot control its availability or usage. One of our partners, the cable newspapers online, commissioned an investigation into it, which they called prepaid electricity meters, a scheme that became a scam. And it was a tale of woes from consumers interviewed in different parts of the country by this organization.
It's surely a worrisome development. The question is, where are the meters? Why are we getting complaints that you could pay for a meter and eventually lose it to an individual who offers more money than you did?
And we have a guest in the house on the program, and this guest understands the electricity distribution crisis inside out. And but before we bring him to you, we have comments from an investigative journalist with the cable newspaper, Adelaja Abiose, who now gives us a background to the investigation on the electricity meter scam. Let's hear her out.
The story was published on the 15th of April this year, 2019. But actually, we had a plan since the beginning of the year. We were looking at the pains, of course, the agonies of Nigerians who are being given estimated billings. They consume maybe an electricity worth of 1,000 naira per month, but they bring the bill of as high as 10,000, 15,000, and when they don't pay this bill, they cut their lights. The DISCO's officials, they intimidate Nigerians, they intimidate consumers. That's where I'm going to. They intimidate them. If you don't pay, this will cut your light. And because the consumers know that they intimidate them, they just give them, let me just give you something, so don't cut our light. So a lot of people have come to keep paying for what they don't consume, and also those that, so as a result of that, a lot of them are demanding for meters that give us prepaid meters, so that we will know we are actually paying for what we use, the light we use, the electricity we consumed.
Yes.
But they know that if they give them meters, they lose, so to speak, the corruption or the extortion. They won't be able to extort. They won't be able to have gain the profit. So the way we say it, that it doesn't pay them, it's not beneficial to them. So they don't want to release that prepaid meter, they hold the meters. In fact, the disco, not just the disco officials, the one that go disconnecting and connecting lights, even their bosses, the ones that are higher in the
chain.
yes, they even connive with the officials to say, okay, we will only give these meters to those that pay, to the highest bidder. We found that in our investigation, yes, of course. So we decided that we're going to do a story about this. We're going to try to capture the pain and the agonies and the complaints of Nigerians. Yeah. And also because the National Electricity Regulation Commission said that they were going to bring an end to the estimation billing through the MAPs, that is the meter asset providers. Since the DISCOs cannot single-handedly provide the meters, the prepaid meters, they are going to get some other private companies to be involved through the policy that's called the MAPs. And this was supposed to have happened April. This process was supposed to kick off on the 3rd of April 2018, but it didn't kick off. So we said we should do a review. We should find out why is it so. What's happening? You know, is it whose fault is it? Is it NEC? Is it the DISCOs? What exactly? Everywhere just quiet. We don't know what's going on, so we want to know what's going on. So we commissioned reporters to Port Harcourt, Osun States, which is covered by in fact all the areas where the 8 DISCOs cover. And we came up with this report.
And the findings from that report is mind-boggling. Adelaja Abiose is a very senior journalist with the Cable, and she told us, just like you have heard, the kind of pain and the volume of absurdity that was found out by the media organization on the issues. Now, it brings us to our guest in the studio, who I told you earlier knows so much about the issues. Kunle Kola Olubiyo is President Nigeria Consumer Protection Network and a member of the Technical Investigative Panel on Power Systems Collapses. This committee was set up in June 2013. And since then, Kunle Kola Olubiyo has been all over the place, doing sensitization at the level of his group and working even with the power sector reform technocrats to see that the problems therein are indeed either eliminated or reduced to its barest minimum. Mr. Olubiyo, welcome to the program.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
The Cable calls it, it calls it a scam. They say it is a scam. What's your perspective?
Well, the term scam is an understatement from us as end users of electricity. It is a cash cow, and is the height of corruption. That the metering scheme in its totality, there's no issue that better defines corruption than the metering scheme that we've been operating in the past. Because at the heart of the grid value chain is metering. Metering enhances energy accountability. It gives value for money, and of course customer satisfaction and efficiency. So when you don't have meter, there will be collection losses, there will be revenue losses. So it's at the heart of whatever we are doing.
So we are seeing a people who are helplessly...
It's a syndicated scam and the height of corruption. That's how the definition here.
And the latest talk in town is that the meter asset providers MAPS scheme is in place. We are seeking to know what really is the situation concerning these people. But the question we ask is this: why put the horse before the cart? How to bill people should have been paramount in the minds of the providers before they started this scheme. How did we get to this dangerous pass?
Well, you can't build something on nothing. If you look at the way the privatization was done in itself, it's an embodiment of corruption, and by global rating, it's globally acknowledged to be flawed with irregularities and conflict of interest. National interest.
Is it the process?
The process, the entire process. The process, the deliverables. So you can't get a good result out of a poorly...
Can you break this down?
Yeah, let me come down. You know that privatization, before now, what we're talking about is leakages in the public sector-driven power sector. Take, for example, some time ago, about 20 high-caliber transmission transformer were procured, and the company that was given the contract to supply those transformer, you will have noticed of late that there have been a lot of transmission transformer that have gone ablaze.
Yeah.
So the company that were given the contract to supply they don't even have a background, technical, financial, and otherwise, when you talk about the benchmark for due diligence for such contract. And it was not competitive. Somebody was just called like a banana seller, like you have in some of the discos, too, that don't even have background of power business or management of power. So they were given contract to supply transformer. And at the end of the day, money was paid to them. Somewhere along the line, there was a migration of the original, preferred bidder to a company in China. And they brought in this transformer
that are getting
sometimes
going up in flames.
Equipment falsification. Specification. If, for example, in the distribution transformer, you have a 500 kVA transformer. If the one inside, the capacity inside is 300 and it's labeled 500, if you put a load of 500 on it, it will blow up.
Now, we are going to be coming to this corruption that is so technical.
It's endemic.
Technical corruption that we are seeing. Even the ordinary person cannot understand.
Yeah.
Because if you have a transformer and you buy a 500 kVA and what is inside is 300 capacity, you are your guess is as good.
Undershot the specifications.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine because I don't understand how to go in. But get to us on our WhatsApp platform is 09022656167. And you can drop us a message now so that Adaobi Abumo, who is writing with us, can be harvesting it and getting ready to read them as being part of to be part of the program. That is 09022656167. That is our WhatsApp line. We have sent a letter to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, because I believe the first thing you will say, where are those who are supposed to be regulating? Where are those who are supposed to be doing this job? We have sent a letter to them, and we have not gotten answers, but we are very positive that we will get answers from them. But in your opinion, are there any ways all the scam could have been avoided? I'm asking you out there who is going to call or send a text message to us. Is there any way, have you been caught in this web of corruption that you don't possibly understand? Have you paid for a meter? Have you applied for one in this new scheme? They say don't. There was a scheme, they say don't pay, we will give you. Now it is pay, we will give to you. Are you also driven by the corruption which makes you to pay for what you think you have not used? Please share your experience with us. Let us hear more from Kola Olu. Is there any way whatsoever? Because the picture you have painted is a picture of crisis. It's a picture of crisis. Is anybody doing anything at all?
Well, at those days, morality and men of integrity, men, I'm using it, both loosely now, used to be of high rating. People pride themselves. Children pride themselves that their parents are men of integrity. But maybe sometimes between 1985 to date, when we got a complete paradigm shift, to be a man or woman of integrity makes you an odd person out in this country. And you can see fundamentally that in the broader sense,
it is odd to have integrity.
It is sin. When you're talking about integrity, when you're talking about trying to scale down corruption, they will say, come, man of God is coming. And when they
nickname you.
Yes, when they are discussing things that is against the interest of the country, and anybody that shows some iota of integrity, they will close the chapter.
Fortunately for us, we still have people who stand out.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. So, talking about this metering, that is the issue. Before now, we have the cap mine. And before privatization, like I said, the process was flawed with irregularities. Companies that don't have background, because one of the things we said for privatization is that technical and financial component of the due diligence. That means somebody must have the technical pedigree, haven't been in power business somewhere in the area of operation. Then they were with that. Most of this threshold, most of this benchmark were lowered.
Okay, let's take a call. I think we have somebody on the line. Let's see who's going to the first person to share experience with us. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name, where you calling from, and then go straight to the point. Okay.
My own is the level of some of their staff collect 5,000 naira and give some people meter. And then there's the way they proceed the meter that other people don't do it the way it's supposed to neglect. So they say to talk to most of their staff. Instead of people who have failed or people who did it, they do it by women man. collecting, I'm telling you, my friend who told me, he spent 5,000 naira and he didn't struggle for the meter, and he got the meter. This is the truth that what I want to say. Although that TSM to talk to their staff, corruption is within them. They can't stop that corruption. This is the TSM staff. Most of them have different numbers. They're collecting money from people. They will go and give the estimated bill. They will not have the close. If it is 200,000, they will collect the 50,000 or 10,000 or 6,000 from the bank, and they will close it. If it doesn't start now, so that this thing to stop, but it's increasing and increasing.
All right. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name again, please? What's your name again, please?
As I told you, I have managers to NEPA, and my family is a NEPA family. I can't be talking again.
What is your name? Oh. What is your name, please?
I said, my name is PC, but I don't want to be a whistleblower.
You've blown it already.
All right, thank you very much. Then let's take the next call. Hello. Hello.
Good morning, Ojiri Abasuremi.
Good morning, sir.
He's coming from Utako.
Go ahead, please.
In fact, the highest problem Nigeria has today is not just poverty, it's power. See, if you even tell the NEPA staff, those people will call NEPA staff, those staff that are using whatever to cut light up and down, that they want to have everybody, they want everybody to have meter, they will never agree to it. Because people that cutting of light, they know what many of them have bought gas from them. Even so many of them that cannot find their name, they have released themselves through this cutting of light. And if you have to pay, nobody will cut your light. So, in fact, it is the collaboration between the bodies.
Do you have any personal experience?
Experience in my own experience on that statement.
I mean,
I know what I'm talking.
I know. I agree with you. Do you have meter in your house or in your office?
In fact, I have applied for meter. Several times they did not give me. Not only that, they will, in fact, even the bill, you will pay this today. They said because you did not pay or the thing did not enter. Maybe not see the thing will reflect. You will never see it. At the end of the day, your bill will start growing from 100 naira to 100,000.
And
100 naira to 500,000.
And you still don't have a meter. You still don't have a meter.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother. We need to look at how these things affect us individually. What have we really done? Have we applied? When we applied, what did we do? Where is the point of the frustration? So that when you are calling us, you are not telling us what other people have told us. Tell us your peculiar experience. Have you paid? Have you applied? How long has it been? What is the size of your apartment? How much are you paying? Do you think you are overpaying? And all those challenges. Let's take the next call. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name?
Nuruddin on the line.
Nuruddin, thank you for joining us.
I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead, please. What experiences do you have?
To begin with this scenario, I think it's getting to almost 1 year now that I've taken off my mind. I don't need any consider me.
You don't use them?
That I don't need power in my head begin of
You've gone solar?
Wonderful.
I just, if I want to charge something important, I'll just want to within 1-2 hours for more than a year.
Wow.
Because if I begin to tell you what I do, so even at times if I step out with that, it's just as if I slap them.
You feel like slapping somebody? Please don't slap anybody.
When I wanted to ask for meter, I went to their office, old NEPA office, along Kwanta, sometimes 6 years or 7 years, or there is something. The manager there wanted somebody to follow me to my house. I did look at my house. I think I gave him another 10,000 or 10,000.
Why did you give 10,000? Why did you pay?
That I should pay. I think they were asking to pay 10,000 for me a day.
Yes.
And I gave him that 10,000.
Were you given a receipt?
I wasn't.
So you were they just collected your money without a receipt.
So that was my mistake.
Okay, go ahead.
Now one was even small. Maybe few months after I tried it. So the wife come back. That man was not there anymore. And unfortunately for me, the other paper he gave to me, I looked for it and not it because I wanted to take I was trying to take it off today.
And another person came to your house.
You said?
Another person then came to your house.
Another person came. But that one, it was when they did I think then I should not worry. He will do something for me. I gave him another 10,000.
Were you given a receipt for this second one?
You said?
Were you given a receipt for this second 10,000 naira?
I never do.
Okay.
Never.
That's 20,000.
That's 20,000 naira gone.
So, to cut the story short, I conclude that the acting that they usually for the border road. So they will just bring one crazy drink.
So even when you stop using the electricity and you are not your generator, they were still bringing beef for you.
No. They are not bringing anything for me.
Okay.
More than a year now. They are not bringing.
All right, let's see because we have so many people who want to talk to us. Hello.
Yeah, my name is Kenneth.
Kenneth?
Yes.
Go on, please, Kenneth.
I think mine is a positive one because when I applied for meter, the people in my estate did apply for meter. After 3 months, we were called upon that our meters were ready and they sent the installer to come and install for us.
Did you pay? How much did you pay for this meter?
We paid 41 or 49,000 for 3 feet, thereabouts.
How long ago?
This we're saying about 2 years now.
About 2 years now. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, about 2 years now. So I think it's a mixed bag. It's not as if everything about the AEDC is bad. Some of us, we have it smooth when we apply for our meter. We never went there to bribe anybody. They just came to our estate after we had done our electrification. They came and said for we to use the light, we needed to go apply for meter. And after we did that, 3 months, they called us themselves and said our meters were ready. And they came and installed. And ever since, we've been using it. So
that's a great relief. Kenneth, that's a great relief for us. And we're happy that you have put some cold water.
Angel.
Thank you so much.
My station is their poll station.
Okay.
What do you call it? The legislative quarters. They called us and we came and they came and installed for us.
Good.
All right, thank you. We are praying for some other persons who have a positive experience. But you were going to tell us something, sir.
Yes. What Kenneth is even saying is misleading because not until May this year, meters were free. So such money that he has paid, if he can come up with the receipts sent to you, do a follow-up on that.
And recover the money from him.
It should be placed in this meter as a token, the credit, what we call credit.
Yes.
It was free. There were under the table transactions by different discos, which there have been several investigative reports. So I want to tell him that at that time, metering was free.
So
that money that was
collected
paid,
fraudulently.
Now
let's take the next call.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, Kenneth, you have heard that the money you paid, whether all of you in the estate ought not to have been paid. I have had people who had this similar experience. That if you press forward, they will return the money to you in the supply of electricity.
And I believe the MD is not aware, it's just at the local level where some of
But if money is paid into the account, how would the MD not be aware?
No.
Because the account is wrong.
For benefit of doubt, we believe in this carrot and stick. Let him call with those details so that we can follow.
But let's take this call.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Your name is?
My name is
Chidoze. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Well, our own, we sent money for visa. We gave some money for visa, and the thing is to let when the visa comes. So, we are going, we now heard that we have to pay. Now, we have to buy the meter. So for that one, we are paid. Up to now, we have not paid the home. And another amount of money we now pay for the second one.
Okay. You have paid. You have not gotten it. Let's thank you very much. Let's give that's a negative one. I thought we were going to have a positive one. But while we are waiting for your calls, we took the trip to the streets to hear from Nigerians so that we don't just listen to those who are calling. And our correspondents went out.
That was 2017, but we have been trying to get it, but up to now we have not gotten it.
I applied for meter, but I think this is 4 months. I filled the form, and they asked me that they are going to send me a message, and which to today I have not received any message. Sometimes they give us bill of sometimes 40,000, sometimes 50, sometimes 100.
Yeah, in my area, PRIMORG'S, we've applied, but they've not given us yet. Now they just bring the bill without, giving you, letting you know how much you've consumed for the month.
My experience when I applied for prepaid meter was, I applied and they told me it's going to come like 2 weeks' time. I went there and I could not get meter, but money was paid for. Initially, they told us it was for free, but while I was eager to get it, I had to pay like over 35,000 naira to get prepaid meter, which was not given up till now. I'm still going after it. After that, they said, okay, now that they are buying it. So presently now they are buying it. I'm still going to the office to see how they can reconcile my name with those who are among the list that they are going to give. I've applied like 2016.
It was terrible. The estimated bill was high, and sometimes the law will not be there, but you still be paying high bills. But when I got the meters, I control what I'm consuming. So
we requested for it for a while. It took us a while to get. We were told that our consumption, connecting directly, that it seems that we have some credits down, that they ought to be removing it from the prepaid meter we just got. So it makes it very inconvenient because they usually remove every percent from it. I think 50-60%.
I'm not satisfied with the rate because they said pay as you go, but the tariff is high. It's average of 9,500 I pay every month.
Okay, we had Chukudi, you had the story is not different from those who are calling, but we have more people who want to talk to us.
Yes,
let's go. Let's take that. Let's take those who are calling. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, Kanye is calling back.
Okay.
Yeah, we were told that money we paid was going to be liquidated through the unit we used.
Were they liquidated through the unit?
Honestly, I didn't follow up to know if they actually invested it.
Okay.
But we were told that money we were paying, we were going to use it through the purchase of electricity.
So you may have indeed used up that money.
Yeah, so that is what I'm saying. Honestly, I didn't follow up to
all right, Kenneth. Thank you for the clarification. Let's see if we have another call. 09022656167. That is the WhatsApp number. Let's get to Adaobi to quickly tell us those who are sharing their experiences with us through the WhatsApp number 09022656167. Adaobi.
Hope from Lube says that he was charged 11,550, but he paid 11,500. Still, NEPA officials came and cut his lights. In my own experience, I tried to apply using abujaelectricity.com, but it never went through until a staff directed me to another officer who applied for me. I got acknowledgements on the mail. Till this moment, my residence is yet to be contacted. Who is fooling who? Nigerians are bitter about it. We also have one from Sally who used to from Gwagwalada. That in a compound of 15 rooms, we were given a single meter after we were forced to clear an accumulated bill of over 30,000. The meter was installed early last year by AEDC staff, but it has never worked for a day. Samuel Olaoke from Kabusa, who said he paid 10,000 naira for the past 7 months, he's yet to receive it.
That 10,000 must have gone into voicemail.
And he also said that AEDC officials are requesting for additional 10,000 naira from him.
We don't know if they are bringing bill outside of that. If it has not worked, are they consuming electricity? Or are they? What are they? Let's go to the phone line that those who want to talk to us. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, this is a positive one. The manager here is the former manager. There was a blind man who doesn't see, but he wants to put land for the family. The never can give them meters free, and some staff pay for the blind man family.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let us give opportunity for fresh insights. That's a good benevolence
that's
from good benevolence from the AADC, who provided free meter and light for a blind person who they think deserve it. That is good. Please continue in that light. Chukudi, let's get Kunle Olubi to tell us what is the way out of this crisis.
Well, like any payment made before 1st of May to any of the distribution company, without exception, they should upload the details. Nigeria should make sure they get receipt for their payment and send to you.
Now, for somebody who was told, don't worry, pay, and the bill will be. How are we sure
just like a bank statement? That's what we call account history. So
if you go to the office, you
can get account history for estimated billing and prepaid. You see the opening balance. Such person should get an account history, and let us have what exactly transpired.
Is it easy to get?
It's very easy.
Nigerians are very impatient. They don't want to waste them.
The problem we have is that we are very impatient. We don't want to spare our time to do follow-up on issues. We just say let it go because they waste our time. But if they could take the pain to get their account history, there's no. It doesn't have a time in a timeline that to elapse. Once there's an issue, there's an infraction, they need to get it up with this type of program you have. We'll do follow-up and get this thing. But what we are saying is that fundamentally, we've said it in the media, through different things, that the privatization process was marked with a lot of irregularities.
Yes.
And that's the very reason why it's giving rise to this, because most of them only took loan to acquire the licenses. The money that consumers were owing pre-privatization, there's an agency of government called NEMCO, Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company, because the operators refused to take over the liabilities. And so government said, if you don't take over the liabilities, you cannot take over the money that consumers were owing before privatization. The discourse is supposed to, as the one that have direct dealings with the customer, they're supposed to collect it and give it to NEMCO and give it to government. But they collected it and held on to it. Some of them like I'm trying to say, some of them for the first 3-4 years of the privatization, they were not even remitting money at all. And
let's continue to try to reach us through our WhatsApp number 09022656167.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ben. I'm calling from school.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Ohiria, it's very pathetic with the situation we have right now. In my compound, there is a block of 4 flats, and we all have a prepaid meter. From nowhere, the ADC, APB, or whatever they call themselves, came and said our borehole was not in the meter. So they're going to bring a separate billing for the borehole. So what then happened was we said, okay, no problem. What do we do? They said from not connecting to the meter at all in the first place, they're going to disconnect it. So we said, okay, no problem. So what do we do? They said we are going to pay 50,000 for just borehole. We said, okay, after paying 50,000 for the disconnection and stuff, okay, what is the way forward? That they're going to bring an estimated bill every month. Believe you me, it's metamorphosed from the first bringing 2,000 per month. As the last 2 months, it rose from 2,000 to 70,000.
Just the borehole?
Just the borehole that we don't even put on every day. So we in the compound, we got alarmed. I was like, what is all this? Okay, we went to their office in Cuba there. Luckily, one of my neighbors know the man in charge there, so he sent somebody. They came and installed the meter, these old meters now, these very old ones, for the borehole. So we have a meter specialist.
That is the analog that they come to read.
Yes, exactly. The very old one, the first generation meters.
And it's dedicated to the borehole.
For the borehole, yeah. So and we were asked to pay 630,000 to write all the other bits. So looking at all these things, I think the system is mad and flawed.
But Ben, we must also agree that we are also involved in this fraudulent thing we are doing. You have a borehole, you have meters for your houses, but you connected. Obviously, it's not NEPA or AEDC that connected to that borehole. You got somebody to connect illegally to the borehole, and you were using it.
Not illegally, Metro area.
Yes.
They came and installed the meter.
Yes.
In all the flats. We never knew that the borehole was not part of the whole connection.
Okay. I think the landlord. I think the landlord or the person, your supervisor in that house, somebody who is taking care of that house, should know, because the borehole will necessarily be connected not to any of the flats, but it will be connected alone. There was some measure of illegality. The bar was punished. It's not an excuse for what they are doing now, that they will just come and install just anything and collect from 2,000 to 70,000 just for the borehole. Thank you very much, Ben, for giving us that insight.
Thanks a lot.
Giving us. I think what I wanted to say, and I wanted to also explain it to us, and Nigerians, those consumers, because we are complaining that there's a problem with the distributors and they are charging so much. We also cut corners.
As electricity consumers, we have some obligations or responsibilities, so to say. If there are hotels that connect their AC or high energy consuming equipment directly, that's bypass, and results in loss of energy. That should be discouraged.
Yes.
Like in Kano Disco and some of the discos, even when they went out to meter, most people now do bypass, because
when
they don't want
the officials,
when you want to do an auditing of the system, you discover that if you have about 100,000 meters in the given area, they be remotely monitored, and if the vending is not as impressive or as expected to be for 100,000, and vending is recharging of the meter.
Yes.
So if the vending is not forthcoming, then you know that there's a bypass.
Yes.
But I haven't said that the distribution companies, in the course of privatization, have what they call service level agreement. There are performance obligation.
Yeah, the man talking in the studio is Kola. That's the Kunle Kola Olubiyo. Is the President of Nigeria Consumer Protection Network. That gives you an impression that he understands. And if you can send us your messages, specific messages with information on...
Provide the information. Just like a complaint to your WhatsApp numbers, all the complaints, then forward them to us, then we can do a follow-up.
Yes, and our WhatsApp number is 09022656167. That is 09022656167.
Every complaint will be followed up.
If you send us a complaint, we'll just forward it to them.
With their telephone numbers.
That's your telephone number and names. Now we have more. Hello.
Okay, it's a deluge. Go to the next one. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. My name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from Cuba.
Go on.
Without hypocrisy and the economical with the truth, I was treated well in 2017 by the officials of the PACNJ in Cuba. Initially, I was on estimated billing. It was the officials then that deeply advised me that I should go for meter that is so much more better. In fact, it indicated for me, I did a bank grant in favor of PAC then, or I can't remember if it's PAC, it was PAC in that time, 24,000 naira. And I made my application. After about 3 weeks or a month thereabout, I got the meter, and weekly I consume 2,000 naira, which I'm well pleased. I'm of the opinion, it's my personal opinion as a citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria, that the meter should not be free. Even in free town, nothing is free. Anything that is free, come in community good.
All right.
Desire. When we pay, let people get the meter, let them get value for their money. But to make it free, it's community good, and we never...
Now, what's your name again?
I'm satisfied.
Ibrahim,
okay.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, thank you for adding some very good colors. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I greet all of you. As I'm talking to you.
Your name first, please. Your name first.
What's your name?
Please, I want to remain anonymous.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to remain anonymous.
Go ahead.
It's unfortunate that Nigeria is suffering through this experience. And as I was saying, from getting to about 9 months, I don't have life.
Which area is this, please? Which area?
It's in Arankuba.
Arankuba. Go ahead, please.
So,
you should provide the details so that we can do follow-up.
I sent my analog meter to give me estimated fee, and the analog meter was working. They could not explain it. They started bringing estimated meter. As I carried myself through the estimated meter, and then having agreement after agreement, it couldn't work. The day they caught the light, it was just 2 weeks after the last payment. And I couldn't bear it. I said, well, if that was the best cost, I have applied. I have not gotten any meter. I've been on jail. They are still sending bills. And this testimony I'm giving you, more than 5 neighbors around me have the same testimony. So they are just slaughtering this country. You will agree with me that without power, the artisans and the rest of us will just be hanging on nothing. After the sun, you cannot do nothing with it during the sun. So those who use it for artisanship cannot do anything without power.
All right, thank you very much.
Who do? They are kept at half business level because those who can afford the service, who can afford the generator among them and the rest of them. In fact, it's difficult to explain. But what I'm trying to say is, but by now, if the federal government is really in charge, we're supposed to declare state of emergency of power with practical expression of what.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And anonymous caller there, maybe he's even an official of EADC. I don't know.
It could be, but you couldn't mistake his bitterness.
Yeah,
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
You're on to Public Conscience. Your name and your comment.
Please, my name is Shaibu Alhatu. I'm calling from Yanya.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Please, I pay for my own meter. They came and installed it. Since last week, just to activate my card to start recharging. Up to now, they have not activated. I went to their office in Karu. I complained. They will snap the password, my card. They say I should go. They collect my number. I should go. They will do it.
Okay.
2 days since Monday, 3 days today. They have not activated.
It's okay.
We have to begin to wrap up now. And in wrapping up, we are looking for solutions. We cannot take more calls anymore. Let's quickly get to our guests.
You should tell us about he's saying that the meter should be free.
They promised to invest in the technical component of the network.
Yes, that's
and the commercial. This is the meter and what have you, and it's part of their service level agreement. To us, the meter belongs to the utility companies. They don't belong to consumers.
That's it.
And one would have expected.
So why would they ask you
one
to
would
pay
have
for what
expected
belongs
that
to
they
them?
restructure their equity and let us have shares. If we are putting in money into business that has a timeline for cost recovery, they should look for their liquidity and sort themselves out. So, but under the
what about the option of say, look, you are paying 30,000,
you give us credit.
We will give you credit.
Yeah, that gentleman that has paid us at that time, payment were not allowed. These are below the table transaction. The man should do a printout of his account history and get to us. But on a good note, ADC, we have a level electricity distribution company, and they were supposed to kickstart the MAP on the 1st of May. I think ADC kickstarted its own on the 8th of May this year. And ADC have received 29 applications because 29,000 applications. Myself, my group, and 3 others about 2 weeks ago, exactly about this time, we took a guided tour of their facility based on concern from the public, those who make payment after 10 days they didn't get installed. And what we saw was quite impressive. Relatively, ADC has an edge because there's 29,000 applications. They processed, as of 2 weeks ago, they processed about 28,000 applications. They sent out about 30,000 emails and SMS to customers, and they have installed, as we speak to you, about as of 2 weeks ago, 7,000 prepaid meters. Not ADC directly, because they have delegated like a franchise to those they call the MIP licensees, those registered to decap the meter component from, because the discos before, when we were paying, some of them were holding on to the money.
We really need to wrap up now, but what we have to tell you now is that we have actually sent a letter to the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, the NEC, and we will get them on this program.
Let's have a copy of the letter so that we can just
thank you. And we also get AEDC officials to this program, and Kunle Olabiyo is not tired of us. Anytime we want him to come, he will also come. The important is for us to share ideas, share opinion, and get the process better, so that we do not have to pay for what we are not consuming. We want to thank Kunle Kola Olubiyo. He is the President, Nigeria Consumer Protection Network, and a member of the Technical Investigative Panel of Power Systems Collapses that was set up in 2013. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
And my colleagues here.
It's a great one. We now know that consumers have a lifeline to AEDC through you. Be ready for work. But before I go, remember, birth registration is free.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone swindle you.
When you are going, please go with all the necessary documents and possibly the babies or the children, because they will ask you to go back. And when you look at the cost of going back, you prefer to give them 1,000 naira and get what you have to get. Please don't be involved in corruption. Birth certificates in Nigeria are free. My name is Okiri Agbonsuremi.